The ayes 52 and the noes 19. I call the path.
The path for Australia's first referendum in close to 3 decades now cleared.
To recognise the first peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice.
The Constitution Alteration Bill to enable the referendum passing with the support of 2/3 of the chamber. With a spring in his step, the Prime Minister is ready to shift the campaign from Capitol Hill to the community.
Parliaments pass laws, but it is people who make history.
This is the final hurdle to holding a referendum later this year. It's on.
The President.
Before the vote, senators on all sides had the chance for their voices to be heard on the proposal once more.
We need to restore First Nations people's rights in this country. We also need progress towards truth and treaty.
Just because you can say that you've got a connection with this land for 65,000 years, I don't care.
Some of this country's top legal experts can't agree on how the constitutional change may be interpreted.
While the Liberal Party voted to pass the bill, it wasn't an indication of support for the voice itself.
The majority of us will vote to pass this bill because we believe in the people of this nation and their right to have a say.
And wearing her thoughts across her chest, gammon meaning pretend or fake, Independent Senator Lydia Thorpe voted against the bill.
I'll be voting no to this disastrous idea of giving us no power.
Members of the Uluru Dialogues made the trip to Canberra to witness the historic vote and highlight the opportunity they see to change the Constitution.
There's like 65,000 years standing here. This is big for us.
I'll be interested to see in 10 years' time who's standing here and how much change it's made.
The next task for the Prime Minister to realise his centrepiece policy will be to make the call on the date the referendum is held, balancing having enough time to persuade but not so long that fatigue sets in. October is widely tipped to be the month of choice, but insiders say Anthony Albanese is unlikely to nominate a date before the Garma Festival in August. Dana Morse, ABC News, Canberra.
The debate on the voice to Parliament is now entering the next phase. Here's the ABC's voice and referendum correspondent, Dan Borsha.
Advocates for and against the voice to Parliament hope it will shift the debate out of Parliament and into the community. The Prime Minister today again called for a respectful debate, no matter how Australians vote. And Mr Albanese called for that to be driven by facts. A position many supporting both the for and against cases have also called for. As for what we all vote on, the question will be relatively simple. Yes or no to a proposed law to alter the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. But sitting behind that question is the much bigger national conversation we are now having and the more complicated pathway that led to this vote about the complexity of colonisation and its lasting impacts, the pain and intergenerational trauma of the White Australia policy, and the forced removal of children that led to the stolen generations. Then there is the crippling disparity in life expectancy, health and education outcomes over incarceration in prison that are just some of the measures of closing the gap, the majority of which are going backwards. Whether the voice would actually address these is contested by the politicians, but Australians will ultimately be the ones to make that decision.